In the untamed plains of the South American wilderness, two lions, a proud male and a graceful female, had roamed freely together for many years. They hunted side by side, gliding through endless stretches of golden grass without pause. But life began to grow harsh. The climate shifted, water holes vanished, and prey became painfully rare. So, the two made a difficult decision to leave their familiar territory behind in search of a safer, more abundant home. They traveled hundreds of kilometers, enduring hunger and tense encounters with other predators. Each night, the male would stand guard while the female took precious moments to rest and gather her strength. After weeks of wandering, they finally caught the scent of water and wildlife, and it led them to Pantanal National Park. Renowned as one of the largest reserves in Brazil, Pantanal was a sanctuary of rolling plains and thriving ecosystems. Upon arrival, the lions cautiously sniffed around, searching for cover. They noticed patrol vehicles, watchtowers, and high fences, but they couldn't quite make sense of them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support Helping Hub. They noticed patrol vehicles, watchtowers, and fences again, but their meaning remained a mystery. At that same time, two dedicated park workers, Javier and Isabella, began noticing signs of unusual visitors. Javier, a seasoned patrol driver, knew every corner of the savannah. Isabella, a skilled animal behaviorist, kept meticulous records of any changes within the park. Both were taken aback when large, unmistakable lion tracks appeared near the main river. They chose to observe quietly from a distance, hoping to avoid disturbing the new arrivals. In the early nights, the male lion roared fiercely, marking his new territory. The female, still adjusting to her unfamiliar surroundings, often paced restlessly. Javier and Isabella kept watch, documenting their every movement, every sound, every subtle clue about their health. Though the lions seemed worn from the journey, they still had the strength to take down small prey, antelopes, and hares. Isabella began to notice the lioness moved more slowly at times. She suspected something, maybe pregnancy. Javier agreed. The male's protective behavior had grown unusually intense. Both felt a mix of nerves and hope. If she was expecting, it could be a major win for conservation efforts. For months later, there was no doubt. Her belly had rounded. Her steps grew heavier with each passing day. Javier prepared emergency medical supplies just in case something went wrong. Isabella kept a close eye on the lioness's resting patterns, her eating habits, and the male's changing demeanor. All of Pantanal held its breath, hoping for a smooth birth. But things took a turn. The lioness struggled for 2 full days. Her body was racked with pain. Both lions grew restless. The female moaned in distress while the male paced anxiously, unable to help. Javier and Isabella recognized the danger. Without intervention, the lioness might not survive. Yet tranquilizing her was out of the question. She was too close to delivery, and if they sedated the male, she might panic and flee, making things even worse. So they made a brave decision. They would trust their instincts and their bond with the wild. They slowly approached in their vehicle, closely, watching for signs of aggression from the male. He spotted the car and roared, his mane bristling as he stood between them and his mate. Meanwhile, the lioness lay helpless, barely moving, only letting out soft cries when contractions surged. Isabella whispered to Javier, "We have to act now, or it might be too late." Javier nodded, stepping out of the vehicle with deliberate calm, eyes locked on the lions. Isabella followed, clutching medical gear, including an injection to assist with labor. The 4 of them, 2 lions, 2 humans, stood on the open plain, closer than ever before. The male growled deeply and stepped forward, instinctively shielding his mate. Yet he didn't strike. Maybe he sensed their purpose wasn't harm, but help. Isabella slowly inched closer, speaking gently to soothe the laboring lioness. Javier stood ready, alert but calm, ready to retreat if necessary. Gradually, the lioness relaxed, her eyes softening. She allowed Isabella to gently touch her swollen belly. With steady hands, Isabella delivered the injection, giving her a fighting chance. The male let out a low growl and approached, but didn't attack. The humans backed off slightly, giving space for the medicine to work. Nearly 2 hours passed. The lioness endured wave after wave of contractions. And finally, a fragile, perfect lion cub was born. The moment was indescribable. The male approached, gently licking his newborn. The lioness panted exhausted, but her eyes glowed with joy. Javier let out a quiet cheer as the cub let out its first weak cry. Isabella quickly checked the baby. No signs of harm or deformity. She even administered a restorative shot to help the mother recover. The male lion looked back at them, not with hostility, but with something that felt like gratitude. Javier and Isabella slowly stepped back, allowing the family their first moments of peace. The newborn cub wiggled in the lioness's arms, safe and warm. She nuzzled her cub gently, her soft purring a mother's welcome. The two rangers sat quietly in their car, their hearts swelling with emotion. They named the lions Leo for courage, Luna for hope, and the cub Soul, meaning a new beginning. Once they saw Luna was stable, Javier started the car. Isabella, still watching through tears, didn't take her eyes off the little family. They drove away slowly, leaving Leo, Luna, and Soul in the golden light of afternoon. Back at the station, Isabella wiped her tears, her heart brimming with pride. They had helped save a life. Javier smiled. This, he said, was a memory he would cherish forever. The entire reserve celebrated the birth. Luna and Soul were safe. The next day, Javier and Isabella passed by again. They spotted Leo and Luna on a grassy slope, watching them silently. Soul was tiny, playful, circling his mother's legs with innocent curiosity. Leo didn't growl this time. There was trust now, a silent understanding. Isabella believed the family would thrive under Pantanal's protection. Javier marked Soul's birth in his journal, a moment too important to forget. Every time they recalled how Luna allowed their help, they were moved. The story of Leo, Luna, and Soul became a symbol of connection, of what can happen when humans and nature meet with respect. Each time the patrol car passed, the lion family would glance back, a quiet thank you in their eyes. Leo would rumble softly. Luna would nuzzle Soul. And the cub grew stronger with each sunrise. Pantanal's entire staff held that story close. Proof that miracles still happen when people care deeply. Javier and Isabella returned to work, but they never forgot that day. They knew every life mattered, and that together we can protect the wild. As time passed, Soul grew, learning to hunt, mimicking his father's roar, playing beneath the sun. Leo remained mighty, always near Luna, who was just as fierce, just as loving as the day they met. At dawn, the family stood tall on the open grassland, a breathtaking sight. And whenever they heard Javier and Isabella's engine in the distance, Leo simply looked, then turned back to his watch. Isabella would smile, remembering every hardship, every breathless moment. Javier felt something deeper, the sacred trust between lion and man. Because of their courage, a lioness survived. A cub was born. The tale spread across the reserve, inspiring every young soul who dreamed of protecting animals. Everyone hoped Leo, Luna, and Soul would grow their pride and carry their legacy forward. Though challenges lie ahead, with faith and compassion, humans and wildlife can live in harmony. As the sun dipped low, the male lion roared, a bold echo of days overcome. Luna gently licked her cub, nurturing the promise of a new life. Javier and Isabella drove home with their hearts full. They knew no matter how far they traveled, the lions would always greet them with those eyes. The evening breeze swept through the land, whispering through tall grass and stirring the song of the wild. Stars glittered above, lighting the path they had taken. And there, in his mother's embrace, little Soul slept peacefully. Leo kept watch, silent and proud, guarding their piece of paradise. From a distance, Javier and Isabella watched quietly, knowing their mission was complete. And each time the sanctuary's car appeared on the horizon, Leo, Luna, and Soul would turn to look, one last glance of silent, enduring gratitude.